Yeah, it's the investment. It's the investment. It's the investment. The real Erica. Yeah. It's the investment. Yeah. It's the investment. It's the investment. Yeah. Real Erica. It's the investment. Real Erica. Yeah.
With the real Erica.
What's up, y'all? I gotta get my Facebook channel, not my Facebook channel, but my YouTube channel back up because I just gotta let it. It's a lot that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, but I've been, busy becoming these people, this man rather, wife, and these kids' mama, and I gotta tell you, I've been laughing all day. Okay, some put their hope. I'm gonna be real quick because I gotta go pick up my kiddos, but let me tell you something. Some hope in chariots, I hope in the Lord. Let me give you a little bit of insight. Here's one thing that I hope with all this Trump administration. I don't hate Trump and against them, but I'm gonna need black people and people period to be logical and to be balanced and stop being emotional. Somebody scream racism or DEI, people start manifesting. Get your life. Stop letting every wind and doctrine and word confuse and manipulate your opinion. Listen, in addition to having a theater background and a whole lot of other backgrounds that I have in education, I've been in a whole lot of spaces, right? When I transferred from the University of the Arts to Temple University, they had an interdepartmental degree between theater and communications. And as a theater/communications major with one of my degrees, I learned that the medium is the message. So people are being controlled by media and their little taglines of people not giving you the whole story. Let me just keep it a buck, right? There's a couple of scriptures. Ezekiel chapter 3 is one of them where the Lord said to Ezekiel, yo, eat the whole scroll. He said to Ezekiel, eat the whole scroll. You got some people, I ain't talking about everybody, we talking about in general, the masses, are allowing these people to give you a sound bite and not give you the whole thing. Be balanced in your emotions, be balanced, right? And how you hear things. First of all, I watched the entire press conference with the new Secretary of State. I got to give old girl props. She's sharp and she with it, and she was very clear in saying this whole federal grant pause or whatever is not impacting people who get Medicaid and who get SNAP, food stamps, Head Start, all these things, right? That's just because there is a glitch in a website does not mean that's going to be impacting all these other things. These glitches that happen all day, every day. So that's number one. Listen to the whole thing. Another part is that he's about to open up the media press junket. So, for example, there were over 400 and something media outlets that Biden's administration did no longer allowed to come and to ask questions because they want to control narratives and how they're giving information out. Trump is about to open that back up to those 450 news media outlets to come back into the White House and open it up to anybody that has a platform on any social media platform to be able to have access to come to the White House to report on your social media platform. So nobody wants to talk about fair and balanced media. I am so over, as a communications major, journalism was one of my majors in college. The medium is the message. This whole system is set up to control people with propaganda and not giving you the entire scroll, right? Eat the whole scroll, right? Get all the information before you start manifesting. Let's talk about DEI. DEI benefits Waites in the Rainbow Coalition. Right? So this affirmative action was a whole different thing to make sure that the playing field was even and balanced for Black Americans based on their experience, right, in this country that was never dealt with post-Reconstruction. And then you have Black Caribbeans and all these other people benefit, right, on behalf of that thing. And then it morphed into DEI and all these other things. Let's keep it a buck. That's not what this is about. There were a certain group of people, the Rainbow Coalition, and again, Waiite women, right? If you listen back, if you don't know what I'm saying, who benefited off of that, right? Let's deal with that. And in addition to that, is somebody who works in grants management, grants, nonprofits, and education. Let me tell you something. This is an audit that's going on. Okay, this is an audit and I'm not mad at it. So things are going to be paused. I actually read the thing, paused until like February the 10th. This is why when I do grant workshops, I tell nonprofits, number one, you should never let one particular grant source be the way in which you fund your organization. It should not be one funding source, right? You should be able to have multiple streams in order to be able to fund, right, your organization. It shouldn't be based on one source, right? Number two, there's an audit going on. And as a person who has oversaw federal, state, and city funding, I'm telling you right now, most of that funding ends up going to administrative costs. And if you dig a little deeper, you'll find out how stuff is really reallocated. Some of this stuff needs to be shut down because it's not going to what? The people who it needs to actually go to. It's not going to the clients that these people say that they are servicing. People profit off of what? Poverty, trauma, and issues, because again, some people really don't want to solve it. I'm gonna go way back. When I used to be a social worker, when I came back from Southern Africa, outside of college, I was working as a social worker. It was grant funded, right, and Medicaid, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm doing the work trying to help people. I started helping people, right, and moving them to the places and spaces they were supposed to be, and moving them where they needed to be. And you want to know what the director pulled me aside and said? She said to me, "Debbie, you messing with my money." I know a lot of Debbies, so you won't know which one I'm talking about. I know a lot of Debbies. She said, "You messing with my money." So as a young social worker, 22 years old, because I was actually helping people and moving them to the proper departments were allocated based on funding. And I'm sitting here like, why you got a caseload? This program's supposed to be 90 days. This person been in here for 2-3 years. Why they in here? You ain't help them? Because of money. So this whole federal pause is an audit, because again, when you look at budgets and how funding is distributed through grants, and right now I'm overseeing almost $70 million, right, in the education nonprofit space. And I'm telling you right now, some of these places need to be audited because they're not giving the money where they're supposed to go, how it's supposed to go, et cetera, et cetera. I have my own personal stuff that when we were landlords and we were trying to get whatever we needed to get for our situation, these people be misappropriating funds, okay? They be misappropriating funds. And so I ain't mad at Trump and putting a pause on it so that you can comb through and see where this money is really going. Because when you look at a budget of some, not all, there's some great nonprofits who need to get more funding, right? But some of these nonprofits and agencies, right, they are misappropriating funds. And so with the pause, you're going to have a hit dog will holler, right? It's auditing that's happening, right? So they can make sure the funding is going where it needs to go. Instead of being shaken up, it's not impacting federal student federal loans as well. Like read. I'm just hoping people will just read and comprehend, because reading is fundamental. LeVar Burton said, "Butterflies in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, is in a book, is in an executive order, is in a press conference. Listen to the whole thing and add a sound bite so you can make a more informed decision. The reading rainbow," right? Like reading is it is imperative, right? It's important. Instead of being, he's racist, he's this. I'm telling you right now, I have receipts, and I got receipts from past places. I got receipts. Some of these organizations need to not get no more funding because they're not helping people. They're not. So let them figure out whatever they're going to figure out from the federal level, and not be driven by fear, not be driven by it. More importantly, seek the Lord while he may be found, that you may be able to get an idea, business situation or whatever, so you can figure it out. And sidebar, let's talk about the whole classification that comes to certifications with government contracting. I'm not going to tell you, for the last 3.5 years, I've been working to getting my women's this, disadvantage this, and all these things. And things I go through the program or whatever, and the website freeze, it pause, and do all these things, and all this whatever rigmarole, as my grandmama was saying. And now with these things being pulled back, there's an opportunity for some people to just go straight to the door. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a person, I ain't got no problem with people being woke. Just be balancing your wokeness. I don't have a problem with that, because Spike Lee, for the longest, Gil Scott hearing all them people, the revolution would not be televised, all this stuff, and saying, wake up. And you need to wake up. And for you all extreme far righters, let me just say this, right? Because I'm an independent. Let me just say this. But I'm gonna big you up. You doing your thing. You when righteousness is operating and somebody's really handling some, you ain't got no problem. I'll big you up whether I like you or not. This is not a personality contest. And more importantly, why are people expecting Trump or whoever else to be Jesus? Because they not. Seek the Lord while he may be found. The Bible says to pray for the peace of the city, because in its peace is your own peace. In its peace is your own welfare. More important, let me come back to the far right people. Sidebar, people, the alleged, let's just go to the affirmative action part. It was giving people the opportunity to have a seat at the table who are qualified. Affirmative action, quote unquote, DEI was not to give no random person off the street an opportunity to get a job. Baby girl got 4 degrees. Baby girl working on a 5th degree. Let me tell you something. I can't tell you how many times there's been a lot of people that are trying to block God from doing whatever because of whatever. Baby girl's qualified. No, a whole bunch of people who are qualified. Don't stop trying to act like people who are quote unquote affirmative action / DEI hires that these people don't have no credentials, because many of us do. I ain't no DEI hire, but I'm just keeping it a buck. Many of us do. But I'm going to just say these pause on grant, somebody who, again, was currently managing almost $70 million in grant funding. Federal, state, private funding. Some of these organizations and places and spaces need to be checked because they're not giving the resources to the people. They not. And so I'm excited that Trump is what? Go ahead and pause that real quick so you can audit and see where his money is really going. Not everybody, but enough to make the generalization. Sidebar, if you got a nonprofit, this is a great example also of why not to have one funding source. You got to have some revenue and some other things coming from other places, because when stuff happens, you got to be able to pivot. But some of these places need to be audited. Let's just keep it a buck. I can name some of y'all by name. Don't play with me. Don't come for me, because Philly, no one likes us. We don't care. That Philly is still there, right? But I'm going to just say this last thing before I go. I'm going to go on my YouTube channel. Lord, give me the grace, because I got these kids and, it'd be a lot of stuff I'll be doing. Anyway, eat the whole scroll, i.e., get all the information. Listen to the press conference, read whatever it is, so that you can make an informed decision and not let media have you fearful. Do we not remember what happened in 2020 with the jab, right? And they was getting people scared. Now they just saying, all of us who was saying take some vitamin C and vitamin D, and y'all was calling us conspiracy theorists, and we good. And some people took the jab, and I know I'm gonna talk about my people. I'm talking about my people better than I can talk about you. My very uncle told me that the jab is what opened up a whole slew of deformities that he was, out of the clear for by taking it, but fear led him to take it. So make an informed decision by being balanced, right? Listen to the whole thing, making an informed decision, and more importantly, seek the Lord while he may be found, because he'll create Goshen for you if you seek him and you trust him. Again, sidebar, I ain't mad at Trump for pausing some of this stuff. Again, I am in grant management, in education, and in nonprofits, and I have been in some places and spaces I can call out by name where some of this funding is not being properly allocated. So do what you gotta do. Let him do what he gotta do. And again, put their hopes in horses and chariots. Put your hope in the Lord. Put your hope in the Lord. But I ain't mad at Donald Trump for pausing some of this stuff, because it needs to be evaluated. And I said what I said, and I'll say it again. And stop being driven by somebody because you don't like somebody. You don't like your manager either on your job, but you still go to work, or whatever you do, the contractor you working with, you don't like them either, right? Sometimes the Lord will have some people straighten some stuff out because it needs to be straightened out. He'll use a donkey or whoever he needs to use. So let's be clear. Stop being emotional, because this is not high school or a popularity contest. But some of this stuff needs to be checked, right? Because some of these audits, some stuff needs to be audited. Okay, sidebar, last thing. The WHO, World Health Organization, right? Say this last thing. China has about 1 billion people. America has about 300 million people. China was paying the World Health Organization $39 million. And America was paying $500 million. And old bull, Trump, put a stop to it and withdrew. Why? Because why is it, if you know basic math, China has more people than America has, but America's paying more money than China. Let them pause and figure this thing out on what they're doing with taxpayer dollars, and let it be distributed the way it needs to. Also, I'm going to need some people to critically think. Sidebar, Chicago, they let all these people in Chicago, right? To what? And they put them up in hotels, right? The governor of Illinois, his family became rich because they own what? critical thinking is important. Stop being emotional, friends. Stop being emotional. Ask the Lord for discernment, and then pray, because the Jeremiah, he said, pray. These people was in captivity. And he said, listen, y'all might as well get comfortable, because the Lord said 70 years. So pray for the peace of the city. Pray for the peace, because in its welfare is your own welfare. Stop being, Trump. Y'all just be like, come on. And it's not everybody, but for the people who see the replay, and whoever else, stop being emotional. Okay, let's be grown. Let's pray. Let's use wisdom. Not pray no witchcraft prayers. Pray God's will and keep it moving. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk real quick. I got to go pick up my kids. Y'all have a good one. Peace.